In week 1 of the PWBA Winter Swing, it was Leanne Barrett who was perfect enough to capture the Greater Atlanta Open. Last week, Lisa Bishop was perfect on this spare conversion on her way to her second PWBA title. Who will be perfect enough to walk away with the title this week? Find out next. Today's opener features Michelle Feldman, Wendy Macpherson, and Kickoff. The high score will face last week's champion Lisa Bishop, and the winner of that contest will challenge Carolyn Dorin-Ballard for the championship. Welcome inside Jack's Lanes West in sunny Jacksonville, Florida, for the finals of the Greater Jacksonville Classic. Hi everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. I'm glad you tuned in tonight. We have breaking news. The 1998 Player and Bowler of the Year, Carolyn Block, has been injured. She'll head home to Australia after next week's event in Orlando, Florida. She plans to bowl that event, but here for more insight into that is the 1980s Bowler of the Decade and my broadcast partner, Lisa Wagner.
That's right, Jan. It could not have come at a worse time for Carolyn Block. She's at the peak of her career and in the middle of the Bowler of the Decade race for the 1990s. Carol has a tendon separating from the bone at the elbow. It's very painful. She's going in for surgery, hopes to be back by the end of July.
So it's bad news for Carolyn Block. We'll keep you informed on her progress. Right now, back to the action at hand. Lisa, of the finalists tonight, only one has not captured a title, singles title that is, in the last 7 months. It's our number 3 seed, Kickoff.
That's right. It's been 3 years for Kickoff since she has won a singles event. She does have a couple of mixed doubles titles, but there was no television involved there. Television has been a little bit of a nemesis for Kim, and she wants to break that drought here tonight.
We'll see if she gets the title match. She's ready for the first step. It's the opener. It's Kickoff along with Wendy Macpherson and Michelle Feldman. And they're just slapping off 5 there instead of the handshake. Looks like they're having a bit of fun starting this match.
They've been warming up quite a while, Jan, so I think they're all pretty loose, ready to get to the action.
Wendy Macpherson up first with a big opening strike. Now Kickoff, she's from Oakland, California. It was Kim's choice. She has picked the number 2 position.
It's possible she wants to finish on the left lane. By starting on the right lane, she will get to finish on the left, maybe likes that lane a little bit better.
Because she was 3rd qualifier, it was her choice. Here's Michelle Feldman, Skaneateles, New York. She was the number 5 qualifier.
Makes it perfect. 3 in a row.
And I guess it doesn't matter which lane the bowlers bowl on so far. Wendy Macpherson stepping up in the 2nd frame. This is her 2nd appearance here in 1999. Coming up a little light on that shot.
Left herself with a fairly easy spare, the 2-pin. She'll convert that and move on.
Meanwhile, Kickoff, the first time you're seeing her this year, and she's taken a minute. Something distracted her. A wise stop.
I would say she recovered quite well. Ball right in the pocket.
No problem with that spare, and Michelle Feldman's getting ready to step up in the 2nd frame. This is the lady, as we mentioned at the top of the show, that shot the 300 in Danville, Virginia. And 2 people light now on lane 10.
Ball's just going to slide off to the right. Doesn't quite make the turn in the back end there. Leaves herself with a 2-8. Several ways that you can miss this, so you really have to be cautious. The ball needs to hit both of the pins.
Oh, wow, barely. Samstown Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center is the site of the next Pro-Am for the PWBA. Join Michelle Mullen, Marianne DeRupo, and Kim Canady, along with the other PWBA stars, May 2nd for the Pro-Am prior to the Samstown Doubles Tournament. Contact Mike Kaufman at 800-897-8696 for more information. Through 2, you see Kim Canady up by 10 pins. Wendy Macpherson and Michelle Feldman both trailing by 10. Wow, that ball almost looked like it took a bounce.
I think Wendy got a little bit slow here in the third frame. Ball just hooking high, left herself with a little bit of a difficult spare, 3-6-10.
Meanwhile, Kim Canady up in the third frame, going for 3 in a row. Oh, wow. Someone in the audience yelled, "You can do it, Kim." They're hoping she's going to pick that up. What a terrible break.
Terrible break is right. You know, I have never made a 7-10 in my entire life.
Wendy converts to 3-6-10. You haven't. Not very many women have. I think the men tend to do it a little bit more.
They can throw pretty hard at the 7 or the 10. They can get the pin to bounce out of the back. I'd like to see her make it.
Ooh, she almost did. Well, that definitely turned things around. Kim Canady no longer has the lead. Michelle Feldman here up in the third frame. And with that strike, she now has the lead.
We see that powerful ball of Michelle Feldman. Her timing is just so perfect for a power game.
Michelle Feldman up by 3 pins. That would be over Wendy Macpherson. Kim Canady actually in third place at this point, but made an adjustment for that 2-pin last time on lane 10.
Watch the ball just hook right through the heart of the pins. 4, 6, 7. It's basically I'll take 2 and start over.
Kim Canady still in the pocket, has been there every frame so far, leaving the 10-pin. As you called it, Wendy taking the 2 pins. So Michelle Feldman now with a pretty good lead as she sits on the bench. Converts that spare, and Michelle Feldman leads over Kim Canady by 4 pins, but can increase it to 14 if she strikes here in the 4th. And there's the 10-pin. How was Carrie this week, Lisa?
Carrie was off and on. We'd start out in the morning. The first couple of games would be great, just awesome Carrie. Then it settled down for a little bit. Look at this. It's hard to believe that powerful ball could leave a 10-pin like that.
Well, as she covers and doesn't cover the spare, and we'll now have another lead change. Kim Canady is now back in the lead. We'll be right back after these messages. The championship round finals of the Greater Jacksonville Classic are being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. While we were away, we had a change of lead. Michelle Feldman, throwing 3 straight strikes in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, is now in the lead by 12 pins. Other players staying clean, hitting the pocket, but the pins weren't falling.
A couple of very bad breaks. Kim Canady left a solid 8 right in the pocket. Nothing hit the 8-pin. 9 pins in the pit. It stood. She spared, went on to strike again.
Wendy Macpherson, max score 212. Messenger received.
Love to see those.
I'm sure Wendy does also.
Well, if nothing else gets you pumped up, a messenger will. And Wendy right now does need to get pumped up. She's 26 down, needs to get something moving.
Kim-Canady's max score 236. She's up in the 8th, working on a strike. Trails by 12, can cut it to 2, but not to be, leaving the 2-4-5. And at this point, will continue to trail by 12.
Well, we're seeing our strike machine here with a 3-bagger. Her max 248. Look at those pins dance.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what I was thinking. And that is how she shot that 300 game on television, as well as others off of television. Kim-Canady needs to convert the spare to give herself any chance of staying in this match. No problem there. Wendy Macpherson stepping up in the 9th frame. She's working on a strike in the 8th. Right now, still on a max score pace of 212.
Which would still force Michelle Feldman to mark in one of our 2 remaining frames. Anything is possible.
She had a lot of speed on that ball.
Much more aggressive shot by Wendy Macpherson.
That puts Wendy down by 26. Kim-Canady now up in the 9th frame. She's down by 22 pins, needs to set up a strike. Oh, really sliding for her.
Just not picking up a good roll with the back end, and that's where we want all the rolls, at the back end, and it makes the pins jump around a little bit more. Tonight they just don't seem to be doing it.
Michelle Feldman, 9th frame. Oh!
That's the way to pick up a 7-10 right there.
That's how you do it on your first shot.
Watch this ball hook into the pocket, just drives in there. Watch a 7-10, both off to the left. I'll take a 5-bagger.
Well, this match is all but over. We're going to get a look at the score. There you can see it. Michelle Feldman up by 33 pins. That would be over Kim-Canady. Wendy Macpherson right behind them, but with 1 frame left. Disaster would have to strike Michelle Feldman.
Well, it's something to learn right there from Michelle Feldman. When she did miss the 10 pin, she didn't let it get her down. She came back and made sure that she threw some good shots out there on the lanes.
Well, if Wendy strikes out here, the best any of them can do is to force Michelle Feldman to just get some pin count out there on the lanes. Wendy with a strong finish again, as we saw in the telecast last week. Best Kim-Canady can do is 205. Players continuing to strike now. They've found out how to carry in the 10th frame.
And just like last week, we're going to see Wendy strike out. This time the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Last week she made a ball change in the 9th and 10th frames. Went on to strike out to force Lisa Bishop to mark with good count.
And there's that nasty 10 pin again. I'm sure you saw a few of those this week.
Quite a few.
Too many or you wouldn't be here, right? You'd be down there on the lane.
Well, I left a few of those solid 8s too. At last count I was up to 8 this week.
And Wendy finishing it up big with a 211. Michelle Feldman just needs to show up and stay behind the line. Kim-Canady sparing that up for a 195. But it's all power tonight. Taking a little bit of time here with this shot.
Well, I think she knows how important this is, and there's her grandfather, Gary Feldman. Flew in today to watch his granddaughter bowl on our telecast.
Taking a deep breaths right with her. And that's enough. That is enough. Michelle Feldman will advance, but first, Marianne DeRupo continues our series of tips with advice on stretching it out. When you bowl as many games as the women professionals do, it's important to keep those muscles in top form. The same holds true for league bowlers. The more you stretch, the less likely it is you'll get injured out on the lanes. But which warm-up stretches are best for both league bowlers and experienced professionals? For the answer to that question, we went to PWBA titleist Marianne DeRupo.
Whether you're participating bowling as a competitive sport or a recreational sport, just like any other sport, it requires a warm-up period. In bowling, it is very essential for you to have a warm-up period. You don't want to just come right into the bowling center and throw your first ball full speed. I myself have a degree in athletic training and sports medicine, and it has helped me excel in my career. Some of the stretches I'd like to go over with you, real simple, would be for your upper body and your lower body. Your upper body requires a lot of use of your hands and forearm. Now, any stretch that I do, please remember to do it with your opposite hand. What you want to do is get your fingers stretched really well. In turn, it stretches your forearm. Your forearm plays a very crucial role in bowling. Now remember, you also want to do it with your opposite hand. To get your hinge in place, you want to pull back with your opposite arm and stretch real good. You want to stretch to where you feel comfortable. You don't want to feel any pain involved. Stretch to where it's very comfortable. Do not overstretch because you can also cause injury. Now we'll concentrate on your lower body. The back part of your leg is your hamstrings. A real simple stretch you could do right here is propping it up on a table or a chair like I'm doing right here. Pull your head down to your knee and hold the stretch for a good 10 to 20 seconds. Remember, do it both legs. Also, what you want to stretch is your quadricep muscle, which would be the front part of your leg. And the way you want to do that is you grab the opposite leg with the opposite arm and you pull straight up towards the sky. The last stretch that I like to concentrate on before I compete in bowling would be as you put your feet together. You put your hands together and you reach down all the way as far as you can to the ground. So in conclusion, I feel that it would be an asset to you to get a nice warm-up period involved. This will help you, help your scores, and definitely decrease your injuries.
Thanks, Marianne. Remember, staying flexible is important. See you next time for another PWBA bowling tip. Michelle Feldman stretched out with a string of strikes for a 222 over Macpherson's 211 and Canada's 195. Coming up, Michelle Feldman will battle it out with last week's champ, Lisa Bishop, in the semifinal match. We're back at the Greater Jacksonville Classic, ready for the semifinal match. Michelle Feldman against Lisa Bishop. Michelle threw a bunch of strikes in that first match as she defeated Canady and Macpherson with that 222 score.
Michelle's wasting no time getting right up in this first frame. Left herself with a little bit of a difficult spare, the 2-8, but we did see her make it the first match.
Now, spares have been a problem for Michelle. That's something she works on.
Yeah, she works on a couple of things in her game, definitely spares. She said that, hey, when you have an 8-bagger, most of your games, sometimes you don't need to make your spares, but definitely not true. You have to make spares. As she makes the 2-8 the perfect way there. She also hits up on the ball too much, and what we mean by that is when she gets to the foul line, she wants to get a little bit too aggressive with her hand.
Okay, our first look at Lisa Bishop. She was our number 2 qualifier. She's from Belleville, Michigan. And there's that good ball roll she's been working on.
Lisa Bishop has a classic style. Look at that long first step, and that's something that Lisa Bishop has been working on. She doesn't want it to get too long because it throws her out of time. Deep knee bend, good extension, 10 pins in the pit.
Last week's champion of the Choo Choo Classic, and she was just elated last night to be right back here on the telecast.
She said that in the past, players out here have intimidated her.
turn.
I think the roles are changing just a little bit.
Well, as she gets more comfortable, I'm sure that will happen. And here's Michelle Feldman again up in the second frame. As we mentioned, her grandfather, Gary Feldman, able to make it. Her grandmother, Linda Feldman, not here, not feeling well. High game for Michelle, 265. We talked to Michelle about her goals for this year. Here's what she said.
My goals for this year are to be in the top 5 of every category. I would really like to be top in money earnings, especially if I were to bowl a 300 on television again. It would be very special to me to do it again. My grandfather is here, which is a surprise. I would like to make 6 shows. That would be one of my other goals. I made my goals last year, so I'm a good bowl right now.
And there is Gary Feldman again. He's trying to relax, I think, more than she is, blowing out all that air, taking in the deep breaths. The $50,000 is what she was referring to. If she'd shoot another 300, MasterCard has a $50,000 bonus. And this lady has the first 2 strikes, so it's still within the realm of possibility for her. Lisa, she's playing a very tight line. Wow is right. You think she missed a little on that shot?
Well, this week you could miss a little bit left, and Lisa Bishop likes to miss left. If she's going to, she wants to go left. She likes it. She knows it's there. Look at her. Oh, baby, I think she said.
Okay, you want to give me that room? I'll take it. Starts with the first 3, leads by 10 pins. Giving that one a little more room. 10 pin. Lisa's mom made the trip here, Laura Bishop. She flew in, doesn't like to fly, but she did come on out.
I think before they started, she was more nervous than Lisa was.
Converting the spare with no problem. Michelle Feldman now up in the 4th frame. She wanted to say hello to her mother. She spent a lot of time with her mom over the break. Her mom, Debbie. Michelle has 3 little sisters, 5, 7, and 9, and a brother, 17. Michelle Feldman continues to strike, and we talked about Alita Sill the last few weeks and the Alita Sill watch. She did not cash this week, so still needs $8,083 to break that $1 million.
I did bowl with Alita this week in qualifying, and I do know that she is working very hard on her physical game right now. She did have some problems this week, but I saw her conferring with some coaches, and I expect her to be back very soon.
Boy, Michelle looks good. Well, she leads right now, but we'll be back with more action from Jack Plains West in just a moment. We're back in the 7th frame of the Greater Jacksonville Classic semifinal match. Lisa Bishop trailing by 11 pins, working on a spare here in the 7th.
Last 2 frames, she's left weak 10 pins. The ball's just not getting quite enough up in the pocket. Has been a little bit weak, and I think right there was an adjustment. The ball just hooked right through the heart of the pins. Leaves herself with a split, 4, 6, 7. That was definitely an adjustment. She's been very light the last 2 shots, and just an unfortunate error there. Michelle's last shot, watch the angle in the pocket. The ball snap up in there, 6 pin, takes the 10 out.
Little bit of a love tap. Michelle looks a little confused, like, what's going on? She's talking to her coach, Jim Callahan.
Well, she knows that was a weak 10 also. Lisa Bishop is leaving weak 10s, and that was going to be a weak 10, but the 6 just got it out.
Great shot.
And there's another 10 pin.
And you heard Jim Callahan say, great shot there. That definitely was. She was much more aggressive. She got the ball rolling more that time. The pins definitely showed it. It was much stronger.
Going to convert the spare. While we were gone, when she converted the 10-pin, she kind of was saying, hang on, come on. No trouble with this one. And there's a look at her mother, Laura Bishop. Made the long trip and was here last week along with her father, Marion, when Lisa won her title, her second title of her career.
It was a birthday present of sorts for Lisa Bishop. She turned 28 years old right around that time.
She's saying, okay, I'll take the 10-pin. That looked like a pretty good shot.
Yes, it was. She's been in the pocket nearly every time, has left a 2-8 on a couple of her shots, but for the most part has been right in the pocket.
Gary looking down. He can't take it.
I think Gary's one of our more animated players out here. We've been seeing him quite a bit. Here's a look at our top 24. Sandra Jo Shirey missed the telecast by only 13 pins. Julie Gardner, Samstown champion last year.
In 12th, Lisa Wagner, hey, closer to the show this week. Kim Adler, you saw her the first 2 weeks on the show, continuing a fine year. Michelle Feldman up by 25 pins, stepping up in the 9th frame.
Big shot there. Big shot for Michelle Feldman. That's a 5-pin. Just saw right into the 7. That's some power right there, Jan. She knew it. Yes.
She knew she needed to set that one up. It looks a little relaxed there going into the 10th, but it's still close enough. Lisa Bishop up in the 9th, trailing by 25. Sets up a big shot in the 9th frame. She can strike out for 223, which would force Michelle Feldman to mark. And you never know.
Well, she knows the score right now. She's glanced over at the scoreboard, knows that she's going to need at least 2 strikes here in the 10th. She'll be taking her time. She's going to key on those points in her game that she's been working on for the last few weeks. She's going to keep that first step a little bit shorter, a little bit slower, try and make a good shot.
And she did it. Exactly what you called a beautiful shot there by Lisa Bishop. Mom, Laura, looks on.
We're going to see the ball pick up a roll here. See, the last few shots, the ball has not been that aggressive going down the lane. We haven't seen that many revolutions. And what she's doing to fix that is she's looking a little bit shorter on the lane. Maybe not at the arrows. Maybe she's making a little bit closer to her. It's going to cause her to get the ball down earlier, get a little bit heavier roll.
Everything at the 7-pin, but it doesn't fall. She really needed that shot, but win, lose, or draw, Lisa Bishop is happy to be on this show. Her goal for this week was just to make the cut. Ends up making back-to-back shows for the first time in her career. Lisa Bishop finishing up with a score of 212. Michelle needs 8 pins here on 2 balls to wrap this thing up.
Come on, Michelle.
And that's enough. Gary, come on, get some emotion.
Wow, watch this ball. Look at the power on this. Look at the revolutions. I don't see anything standing there. Do you, Jan?
No. I think everyone at home moved out of the way as it headed at him, though.
Well, Michelle knew that was going to be a strike.
And Michelle Feldman will make it to the championship match. Lisa finishes up 3rd with 4,200. So Michelle Feldman sends Lisa Bishop home early. We'll recap all the action when we return. So far tonight, it's been all Michelle Feldman in match number 1. She defeated Macpherson and Canady 222 to 211 and 195. Feldman continued her dominance in match 2, sending Lisa Bishop packing 237 to 212. Coming up, Michelle Feldman will challenge Carolyn Dorin-Ballard for the Greater Jacksonville Classic Championship. Don't go away. We're ready for the championship match of the Greater Jacksonville Classic. We're at Jack's Lanes West in Jacksonville, Florida. Michelle Feldman and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. And Michelle Feldman's been striking, but if she wants to shoot 300, she has to start right here.
Gotta have 12 for 50,000.
And there's the first one. The last time these two ladies met on television, you just saw the graphic. It was for a title match. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard was top seed, and Michelle Feldman shot 300.
And don't think that Carolyn Dorin-Ballard is going to forget that either.
I don't know. I think she told us last night, Carolyn, that she was going to start with the front 10, didn't she?
That's exactly what she said.
Come on, Blake. Hit it!
And there's the first one.
Good rotation on this ball. Ball goes up a little bit high. Watch the 4-9. 4 into the 9. There's a strike. She's yelling, hit it. Yeah. They listened to her quite effectively there.
Best finished 4th in the Greater Atlanta Open. This is her second telecast this year out of 3. And now a light one. Come on now. She knows she needs to strike. Well, Michelle Feldman, you better keep striking. Let's see if she stays aggressive. She told us last night in the last match she tried to play defensive and went split-split. Not tonight, though.
No, there's definitely no defense tonight. This has to be offense, especially when your opponent comes out strike. Right in the pocket. 7-pin almost stood there a little bit. But, you know, I'll tell you, with that ball, there's just not much of a chance for those pins.
MasterCard, get the $50,000 out. These two ladies are going for it. Ooh.
Michelle got a little bit quick there. I don't think she took her time at all. She just a little bit fast. That's probably one of them sides where she hit up on the ball, sent the ball wide out to the right, leaves herself with a 2-4-5. She needs to make this to stay in the match because I have a feeling Carolyn is going to come out swinging.
Covers it up. She's done pretty well on her spares tonight with the exception of that one. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard now up in the 3rd frame, leading by 3 pins, can increase it to 13 with a strike here. Five national titles in 9 years on tour. A lot of telecasts and a lot of second places.
Come on.
Oh, and another light hit. We talked to Carolyn earlier about how she battles the nerves.
Well, I'm always nervous, even before qualifying. I don't know what it is, but I think from my past experiences where I've let the nerves get the best of me, I've learned from that, and I say to myself, look, I'm this close. I've done something right to get here, so I just get up and all I think of, make a good shot. If I make a good shot, the pin should fall.
They're falling.
Not a better person to talk about battling nerves than this lady right here.
Hit one.
Ooh.
Hit one. She's happy to take out the 5-pin and have an easy spare conversion. She's been coming light since that opening shot.
Yeah, she has, and as you said, she got a break by getting the 5-pin out. She's going to change balls to shoot the spare. She wants to cut the hook down. Her strike ball will hook quite a bit, and you can see her throw right at the 7-pin.
Telecast presents the 1998 Robbie Award to Liz Johnson. Kim was the 97 recipient, the Robbie Award. The players vote on that, and it goes to the player that best exemplifies the image of women professional bowling, both on and off the lanes. Meanwhile, on the lanes, Michelle Feldman striking, and Gary Feldman really getting into it. She trails by 12 pins through 4 frames, but can take it down to 2 with 1 more strike.
A lot of power here. Look at the hook. Just saws the 10 right out. Just no chance for the pins.
Ooh, a light one didn't fall. I thought that 7 was going to go on that shot.
Well, she came up light last time on that lane, and it's possible she might have adjusted a little bit. She went a little bit higher than last frame, but my guess would be that she probably just tried to stay down a little bit more at the foul line and get a little bit more hand in it, hook it more.
Michelle Feldman converts the spare, but it is still anyone's match. Stay with us for the finale when we come back. We're back at the Greater Jacksonville Classic. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard up in the 5th frame, leading by 12 pins, working on a spare. There's a big strike, and I haven't seen Carolyn come out this aggressive on a telecast in a long time.
Carolyn doesn't want to finish second anymore. She says that she knows she can win, so when she gets on the telecast, she's out to win, and she wants the champagne, she said.
Ah, yeah, a little of the bubbly to the winner tonight. Carolyn's a little bit more relaxed because she had the benefit of working with massage therapist Mike Thomas of Thomas Therapeutic Massage. He was here all week helping the ladies. Lisa, you didn't get any of his services. Maybe you should have, huh?
That's because he was too busy.
Oh, he was.
He was working on somebody all the time.
Was he? Well, we thank him for his help here with all the ladies. Carolyn coming up light, leaving the bucket. Still leads by 12 as she's working on a strike.
Little look of disgust on Carolyn's face right there. I think she knows she got a little bit quick with that. But Carolyn's a good spare shooter. And even though this is a tough spare, I look for her to make it.
Okay, do you have his name right?
Ball.
Yeah, she covers them all nicely.
Yeah, there you go.
And behind Michelle there was the owner. He's looking on as Michelle steps up in the 6th frame. She's working on a spare, trailing by 12, needs to get some strikes. There's one, not a problem. There's Art Ettlinger, the owner of Jack's Lanes West. Fine facility here.
We see Michelle Feldman, the powerful ball of Michelle coming right at you. Another 10 in the pit. You know, it gets kind of boring seeing her throw all these strikes.
Does it?
No, maybe not.
See why she did that for you, Lisa. Coming up a little light, 2-5. She's been struggling on lane 9. Struck every time so far this game on lane 10.
And light every time on lane 9. She definitely needs to make an adjustment or slow down just a little bit.
Ooh, and just covers that spare. Jim Godman is looking on. He's a PBA Hall of Famer, 2-time Firestone Tournament of Champions winner.
Certainly knows what it's like to be out here on a telecast. Has experienced this many times himself.
Carolyn told us she did not think she could lead this tournament. Didn't have a good enough shot.
I'd like to not have that good of a shot.
Max score 259 for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Up in the 7th frame, sets up a strike.
I think when Carolyn says that, that shows the talent and the payoff she's getting from all the hard work that she puts in. I'll tell you, she bowls hundreds of games a week. And you can see that she's not the biggest of people. You know, she's probably, what, 115 pounds wet? But look at the power she can generate and the consistency with her shots. It gets her to the top every time.
Leading now by 12 pins, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Up in the 8th frame, can take it to 22 with his strike.
Not this one. Come on. Yes,
A lot of power there, Jan.
She blew that rack out. Michelle Feldman now.
Great shot. Stays down at the foul line. Saws the 5 into the 7. She knows she made a good shot.
Not this one. Come on. Yes,
Replay of Carolyn's shot there. Meanwhile, Michelle Feldman stepped up, came high, and left the 3-6. Feeling a little bit of the pressure here. I think she knows she's down. Spares it up and trails by 24 pins here through 8 frames.
We're going to see 3 of these bowlers right here. Leanne, Stacy, and Amory all have made the top 24 in our first 3 tournaments.
Kathy Dorn working hard out in the truck with stats. Came in when Nikki Giannoulias withdrew. Jennifer Larson grabbing that final spot in 24th place. Michelle shaking her head no. She knows it's getting closer to the end here with that 9 count in the 9th frame. Really needed to set up a strike. Best she could do now would be 214.
Good lesson for bowlers out there is when you start shaking your head no, your body's going to listen to it. And you're not going to be positive, and you have to keep that posture up. You've got to keep the positive attitude going. And she has to send that message to Carolyn, because I think Carolyn has definitely sent that message to her.
Good point, Lisa. That is something so important. And really, you don't learn that. Most people at home don't learn that. You learn that out here when you're bowling for your life. .222 average this week for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard.
Come on. Come on. Hit it.
Wanted it to go, but it didn't. A 7-pin. Needs to spare this up and then just get some good count.
These next 2 frames are very important for Carolyn. She has been plagued by some, let's just call it plain bad luck in the latter frames of games, but I think she has found a way to solve that. So I think she's, I'd say, high flush in the pocket.
Spares that one up, and all that hard work is paying off after missing the cut last week. She worked hard Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with Randy Stoughton from Ebonite, and now steps up in the 10th frame with a chance to just grab this title, snatch it away from Michelle Feldman. Needs 9 pins.
Hit it!
And that's enough. Yeah, Michelle's still smiling.
Carolyn making a great shot here. Did you see the extension on that shot? Just a lot of very good pin action there. Boy, did she want that shot.
Michelle Feldman finishes up in 2nd place, 6,200. So Carolyn Dorin-Ballard defeats Michelle Feldman and captures the Greater Jacksonville Classic. We'll be right back. The championship round finals of the Greater Jacksonville Classic are being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. There's your champion of the Greater Jacksonville Classic, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Final score 238 to 203. In with the big check is Libby Peterson, the manager here at Jack's Lanes West.
Carolyn, on behalf of everyone here at Jack's Lanes West and the owner, we'd like to present you with this check for $11,500. Congratulations, we're really proud of you.
Thank you.
And in with a beautiful trophy is Chuck Lewis, the sales director here at Jack's Lanes West.
Hi, Carolyn. It's been a great week, and we'd like to congratulate you on being our champion. And I hope that we can have this event again next year, and hope you'll come back and defend your title.
You bet. Thanks very much.
Lisa Wagner, you have a question for Carolyn?
Absolutely. Michelle Feldman shot 300 at you before. Was there a little bit of revenge?
Well, I guess so. But Michelle's going to be here a lot more probably than I am, because I'll probably retire here soon on a good note. But she had a great week. She'll be back, I'm sure, real strong. I'd like to thank everybody here at Jack's Lanes West. You did a great job all week. The media, absolutely fantastic. And Rock 105, you owe me Don Perignon. And you can find me in Altamont Springs.
Great, Carolyn. Congratulations to all of tonight's finalists at the Greater Jacksonville Classic, where Carolyn Dorin-Ballard is your champion. For Lisa Wagner, I'm Jan Schmidt saying so long from Jacksonville, Florida. Join us next week as we head to that magical place, Orlando, Florida, at AMF Altamont Springs Lanes for the finals of the Greater Orlando Classic. Catch the action Tuesday, March 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.